Yo, what's up, comic book reading universe? It is I, your friendly neighborhood comic book reviewer, Steven Savelli, once again representing hashtag NerdSwag, and I'm here today to bring to you the staple stash for comics that were released on July 2nd, 2014. Now, usually I do this as a huge, big production and a lot of editing and stuff like that, but with the 4th of July holiday in the United States and all that. Just been really busy this weekend, didn't really have time to do the full thing, so I figured why not do a live Google Hangout and do that here. And so if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask those at the Google Plus Hangout link. And what's cool about that is I can answer them while I'm going through these reviews. So at any time, if you have any questions, please just let me know, and yeah, we'll get this thing started. So I have 8 comics to review for you guys this week. I have 1 from DC, 1 from Image, and the rest are Marvel comics. Yeah, this was a low point for me for Marvel, or for Image. I usually have been getting a lot more lately, but I have 1 awesome comic from Image. So, but let's start off with DC. So the first comic I'm going to review is Batman Eternal. This is issue number 13, and what I really like about this issue is we actually have some more storytelling. And with Gordon here being on the cover, I was like, I really hope that this week we get another Gordon story. Because last week we finally got started off on this again, where Jim Gordon was kind of the focal point of the story, just a little bit. So in this issue is written by James Tynion IV, and the artists on this is we have Michael Janin and Guillermo Ortego. And what's cool about this is we get the Jim Gordon story that we've all been wanting the whole time we've been reading Batman Eternal. Batman Eternal starts off great with Jim Gordon basically committing a crime that kills hundreds of people, and then we kind of drop it for about 7 issues, and now we're back. So this issue was super dialogue heavy, but I like when James Tynion writes like that because I think he has a good feel for all the different characters in this Batman Eternal story, and there's no action really in this book. I'm glad this happened because there was almost action overload and not storytelling going on. So storytelling is finally back on. Slow down the action. Let's get into the motives of some of these characters, and we'll see where we go from here. So in this, we have Jim Gordon really meeting with his son for the whole issue, and that's what's really used as the plot device for this one. And I can't really get too much into it because this is a weekly comic, and it's really short, but just know this was actually good. And if you're reading Future's End and you're getting frustrated, I would try to catch up on Batman Eternal because hopefully it's going to continue to be good and we won't get some of these lulls that we've been getting. So I'd actually give the writing on Batman Eternal number 13, I would give it about a 7.5 out of 10, and I'd give the art on this issue probably a 7 out of 10. The art's not great, but the artist didn't have a lot to work with because wasn't much happening besides dialogue. So that's Batman Eternal number 13. Let me know what you guys thought about this. Some people have been pretty iffy on it. I've been pretty down on this book, but it's looking to be good again. I'm looking forward to Detective Comics next week because that's my favorite Batman book out. So that's all I have for DC this week. Once again, very small DC amount on my poll list. So if there are any DC comics that I'm missing out on, especially this week, last week I reviewed Sinestro and Superman 32 and Batman Eternal, but if there are any other DC comics I'm missing, like completely, like Green Arrow or something, you have any suggestions, let me know. I'd love to read them. Alright, I'm going to skip over to Image Comics actually, and the book that I'm going to review right now is Southern Bastards. This is issue number 3. This is written by Jason Aaron with art by Jason Latour. So the Jasons here working on Southern Bastards, and what this follows is an old man down in Alabama that his dad dies. He comes back to his hometown to clean up really his dad's like estate, pack up all the stuff, figure out what to do with the house, and as he's visiting his hometown, he runs into some of his old friends and starts to find out that stuff is not how it's supposed to be. So his dad was an old sheriff, and him and his dad didn't really get along. Now that he's older, his dad's died, he's come back, sees that there's some weird issues, and Earl Tubb, who's the main protagonist here, feels like it's his responsibility now to protect the city, just like his father, even though he didn't like his dad for doing that. Pretty cool, interesting thing there. So if you've been reading Southern Bastards, this is a great issue because we finally get to see that Coach Boss is kind of worried about Mr. Tubb here. So the old guy that's running the whole town is the high school football coach. He owns like all the restaurants, all the convenience stores, all that, and he's really like the mayor of this town of Croc County. And in this, we finally get Earl Tubb here. He's knocking out one of the guy's little minions with a bat. The art on this is just fantastic. Usually I show this easier when I don't do a live show, but the art on this is just great. Anyway, that's what this book's about. It's about the South, and he's eating ribs in this comic. He's going to football games. There's the villain is a football coach. So this issue is, the writing is just so good in this issue by Jason Aaron. It's hard to even describe really, but every character has their own voice. Every character has different dimensions to their character. We're only on issue 3, and like there's 5 solid characters where you know what archetype they are, and they've already changed in 3 issues. They're not just the same person every single issue, so that's really cool. And I would give the writing on Southern Bastards number 3 a 9.5 out of 10. That's how good the storytelling is in this, and there's no skipped beats. Like the whole time, Jason Aaron is hitting it right on the head of moving the story along, giving us a little bit of action, giving us there's like some tense drama going on, and yeah, just very good. And of course, I'd give the art about a 9 out of 10. Something super cool in this is at the end, here's a recipe for some fried apple pies from Jason Aaron's mom. I don't know. It's pretty cool. Anyway, creator-owned books are always awesome because they have full liberty to do whatever they want. And I really like that they get published by Image that way because they can write whatever they want. I mean, even on the back, they just have a link to a Gmail account if you want to send in your letters for letter pages. So it's not a big, overhyped thing. It's just creators can do what they want. They can speak how they want. They can swear. They can cross any line they want to, and it's really great. Anyway, Southern Bastards number 3, awesome, fantastic book by Image. We'll see how it comes at the end of the year, but this could be probably in my top 3, top 5 books of the year for sure. All right, that's it for Armor. That's it for Image. Let's move over to Marvel Comics, and the first book from Marvel I'm going to review is Moon Knight. This is issue number 5, and this issue is titled Scarlet. Now, this is written by Warren Ellis with art by Declan Shelby. They've been the team on this from the beginning. And Jordi Belair, he's the colorist. They've all 3 been on this together. Here's what I like about Moon Knight. It's titled Scarlet because each issue is its own story from start to finish. You don't need to have read any other Moon Knights, and you don't even need to know really the Moon Knight character or Mark Spector, who is Moon Knight. You don't need to know him at all. Basically, you can pick this book up, open it, at the end you close it, boom, you got a story told to you. So what's cool about this is on the top of the cover, see, it kind of looks like an old platformer, like the old Batman game. Well, this is kind of like Judge Dredd meets Batman meets Marvel, kind of. So Moon Knight in this issue, he goes to a like apartment building that's an old abandoned apartment building. He's trying to find this girl that's been kidnapped. And there's like 5 or 6 levels to the apartment building. He walks in on level 1, and like guys run out of all the rooms. He beats them all up, and he goes up the stairs. He actually says, like vocally, level 2. And then he's on the 2nd level, and he's fighting guys, just all these different crazy, outrageous ways, and are super creative, really, really cool. So he goes up each level, and at the end, obviously, he finds his way to the girl that's been kidnapped, and he saves her. That's pretty much this book. Here's what kind of the art looks like if you haven't been reading Moon Knight. It's not plot heavy in terms of dialogue, but the art really tells a story in this book. And the little dialogue that there is, is perfect. So Moon Knight continues to be one of my hot reads. Highly recommend all Moon Knights. I'm going to be giving away digital copy of this. So if you know Moon Knight's real name, like the guy that is Moon Knight, what's his real name? If you leave that in the comments below, I'll shoot you over a message with the free digital code, so you can download this, read it on your iPad, iPhone, whatever you want, whatever device. So it's Moon Knight number 5. All right, next up, I'm going to review Original Sin. This is issue number 5 out of 8 of Original Sin. If you think that the cover looks funny, if you've been reading Original Sin, is like I got a variant cover. My comic book shop pulled this one for me. I didn't ask for the variant, but it was the same cover price. And I'm one of the people that don't like getting variants. I like all my covers to look stylistically the same. So I'm a little bummed out that I got this variant, but it is pretty dang wicked. So can't be too mad about it. This issue is written by Jason Aaron, and the artist is Mike Deodato, the same crew that's been on this from the beginning. So, look, there's not too much to say about this book, especially if you're not reading it. If you haven't been reading Original Sin, I wouldn't recommend this issue. But if you have been reading it, I would like to say everything's going to be all right. We did a little backstory in this book of Nick Fury, what's going on with him, and we needed that. We need to tell event stories with some plot and with some character development, and I'm sick of reading all of these. Like, the most recent one is the Trinity War from DC. Like, you can't just push stuff along with action. There needs to be some motive. There needs to be reasons for why people are doing stuff, and it needs to be clear. So what I like about this is Jason Aaron took issue 5 just to clear some things up and give us a little breath before hopefully getting back into some action and really pushing the story over the edge. So I'm not going to say too much more about Original Sin number 5, except that it's all about Nick Fury and his past, and it ends basically 15 minutes maybe after the last one ended, where Nick Fury just gives a little background on himself and the book's over. So that's an Original Sin number 5. I'd give the writing on this a 7 out of 10, and I would give the art on this probably an 8 out of 10. The writing's not bad. A 7's not a bad score, but there's not a lot of stuff going on, but it was good. So that's Original Sin number 5. So Jason Aaron wrote Southern Bastards, wrote Original Sin, and he wrote another book that I'm reviewing today. So Jason Aaron is all over my pull list. Definitely my favorite author out right now, or writer for comics. All right, the next book I'm going to review is The Legendary Star-Lord number 1. This is the Guardians of the Galaxy leader getting his own book. This is written by Chris Humphries with art, I think this is Paco Medina. Yep, art by Paco Medina. And Guardians of the Galaxy comes out August 1st. What's that mean? That means Marvel is going to throw Guardians of the Galaxy in our faces until that movie comes out, and probably sometime after that. So my expectations were a little low, and let me say the Legendary Star-Lord actually, I would say, superseded my expectations. But I wasn't expecting it to be good, and it wasn't really great. It was okay. Story is really just, well, it's Star-Lord being Han Solo, basically in space, or like an Indiana Jones piratey character. He's super cocky, he's arrogant, he likes ladies, and he's a jokester. So that archetype Star-Lord's got pretty down. And I think Chris Humphries does an okay job of writing him. Paco Medina's art I've never been too big of a fan of. He draws some characters like really odd. So check out Star-Lord's face up here. I can't see if I'm showing it very well. His face just looks like it would be 8 feet wide, this one up here, if he was actually looking straight. I don't know. I get really bothered by art when it's not good. I would rather it be simplistic than someone who tries to overdo it and it gets just unrealistic. So I'm not going to talk about this too much more. I would give Legendary Star-Lord number 1, probably the writing a 6 out of 10, and I'd give the art like a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of this, only because there was no reason for it other than the movie, and I don't know how much of a plan they have in place because this story was really about nothing. So that's Legendary Star-Lord number 1. All right, next up, I have Rocket Raccoon, #1. Now this is written and art by Skottie Young. So if you don't know who Skottie Young is, well, he did this cover, and the cover looks probably familiar, not because you've seen it before, but because his art's pretty famous. He is the one that does all those like baby variant covers and little kid variant covers on the front of basically every book that comes out. He's a pretty cool artist, and what's awesome about him taking over Rocket Raccoon is, well, Rocket's kind of like a playful, youthful character, so to have a playful, youthful artist on it just makes too much sense. This is another book where I had extremely low expectations. I just grabbed it because I've been reading Guardians, the movie's coming out, they suckered me in with their advertising, and well, I do like Skottie Young. A lot of people hate Skottie Young, but I'm actually a fan. I think his art's cool. I can say that, you know, reading page after page of Skottie Young art can be a little different than what I'm used to, but unlike everyone else who's been basically complaining and griping about it, I like it. I think it's really cool art. It's fun, especially for the Rocket Raccoon character, because I mean that's what he is. He just runs around swearing, shooting machine guns at people and saying, "Kill you! I'll kill you! I'll kill you!" I mean that's Rocket Raccoon. But check out this art by Skottie Young here. So what's really cool about this is there's an Easter egg in here for a comic I reviewed earlier. So let me point this out here. So that guy right there on the bottom is wearing a Southern Bastards jacket. So Southern Bastards, written by Jason Aaron, and that's an Image comic. So Southern Bastards here, written by a different company, published by a different company. Skottie Young gave a shout out here in his Rocket Raccoon book. And this book is going to sell a lot. It's pretty popular. So that was pretty cool, Skottie Young to do for Jason Aaron here on Southern Bastards. Like I said, Southern Bastards,